What do you think of the documentary?
It's
What were your first thoughts, and how has it changed, if it has changed, as you continue to watch it? But what are your thoughts on the documentary?
well, here, let me just say something. I just think, first of all, I commend Michael for doing it, right? He didn't have to do it because it gives you a perspective of a variety of things that were going on, right? You know, this was before Instagram, Twitter, and everything else. You couldn't find things quickly, right? Some of this stuff, I'm sure, some of the stuff that we've been watching, people never saw, but we saw it like all the time, right? For us, it's really just a jaunt down memory lane is what it is. But I said, you know, I've enjoyed all 8 episodes so far, and I have done this. I first started to watch it because I said, you know, for the entertainment value, because they said it was going to be good. For the entertainment value, I wanted to see what really was told here. The other thing I checked for that there was no, and I'm on record saying this, that to make sure there was no revisionist history in the record, right? And the other thing I checked for to make sure that there wasn't no knives put in people's backs, right? Right? So, and I will just tell you, it has been accurate. And I know it from a couple angles, because, you know, I played with the Bulls for a number of years. I played with the Pistons. I know it from so many different angles, right? And I've been on a couple other broadcasts and podcasts with people who have been asking about certain things. I sat in one with Craig Elo a couple of weeks ago and talked about, you know, the shot and a variety of things. And it is really just flushed out a lot of things that I knew to be true, right? And for us as players, the best thing has probably been we're able to fill in the blanks. So you don't get the whole story. You probably get about 92% of the story, because some of it, they don't have enough time to flush out. You got to know the backdrop here, right? Because there's a lot of backdrop. They alluded to some things, but they never really flushed it out, right? And we as players who have been around knew what really the flushing out really amounted to.
Well, let's try to address some of those things.
Go ahead.
Well, a few things. It seems that, you know, take it off of Jordan just for a minute. Scottie Pippen, you know, some of the incidents that was addressed in the documentary, he comes off sometime as selfish. You know, looking at the contract situation, the you know, refusing to go in when you know, coach took the final shot. And I mean, Scottie, as we know, is one of the greatest players, but I just think it made him look selfish at times. Or I should say, those weren't his best moments.
Yeah, well, let me say this. Here in life, if we had to do certain things all over again as human beings, I'm sure that we've all made a few mistakes along the way. But let me correct the record here. So they're all friends of mine, right? And I know them from a different perspective, right? Colleagues, co-workers, peers, opponents. Scottie Pippen gave the shirt off his back. You hear me?
Wow.
Yes, he will. Scottie Pippen is a good soul. He's a good person, right? You have to remember now, we sit in Chicago, man. He's from Arkansas. Me and Oak from Cleveland, right? Jordan from Carolina. Grant from Georgia, right? We don't take this the wrong way. Chicago, big city. They don't take no prisoners there, right? They play it hard, right? Now, can you imagine being 21 and 22, living in a place like Chicago and have to navigate the landmine? Because, you know, what sells there is controversy. What sells there? Like, it's not, you know, here. It's not the local newspaper here, right? Let's see what we can get, you know. And here, when it's rolling good, they roll with you. But when there's a chance to roll against you, nothing personal. We selling videos and commercials and papers. It's not a problem, right? So Pip, did he do some things? The refusal to go in the game, I understand. Looking back on it, he has to say the thing like, I wouldn't play it all over again, right? He has to say that, right? But in essence, we all know he wish he hadn't done that, right? He wishes that, right? That's why he came back the next game and played so hard, right? But that's what being young is. We all make mistakes being young, right? Things that we look back now, and you be like, well, what the hell did I do that for? That was just so dumb. I didn't have to play it like that, right? And so the other thing, when they talk about, the contract, they were talking about the contract because he was, what I alluded to, he was the 166th highest paid player in the league, right? Well, remember I was talking about the flushing out? Well, what they didn't flush out, you saw it in the story. He had a home situation that he had to deal with, right? People were depending on him. So what he did was, in the midst of his contract, he went in and tried to renegotiate it. And he did. And he took the years, the length, and the money, which was good money, real good money at the time, because he was trying to protect what he had to do for not only himself and his family. What he did not know was that TV money was going to come into play after that. That's when the ESPN money and the TNT money came to play, right? That's when they were bidding for NBA off of CBS, right? And that's when the NBC contracts came out, right? That's when big money started floating. And that's when you saw the players, and that's when the union got together with the ownership and they negotiated a new contract. That's when it exploded. And it exploded on him after he signed that contract. And that's why you saw the Bulls owner, Jerry Ryan, talking about, because he was an old school dude. Jerry Ryan's of the owner, good guy, like him. Jerry Krause, like him. Well, they didn't, this old school Chicago. It's a gangster town. You know what I'm saying? They play it hard. They play it hard, right? And so hard like this, like, listen, we cut a deal, we're gonna own up the deal. We're not gonna keep renegotiating this thing, right? That's why he was like, I told him not to take that money. Not to do that. Sure you wanna do that? And how I know it's accurate, because when I started signing my contract with the Bulls, I was in there with Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause when we were cutting this deal, right? True. Played it hardcore. Some of the things I heard in that meeting, I was like, hey, listen, they talking like I wasn't even in the room. And then they said, during the midst of the meeting, Branson, with my agent, my attorney, they sit there and they said, they're negotiating, trying to get the figure right. So they got to say things about you, right? And they said, listen, in the meeting, Jerry Reinsdorf stopped and said, hey, looked over to me, hey, you okay? Don't worry about this here. We doing here. We taking care of this thing here. It's going to be, listen, don't worry about what you're hearing here. All right? Just be okay over there, right? Because they asked in the beginning, you want to bring him in here for real? And that was my first taste that this is a business. And they are businessmen. They listen. And the time I came in, Branson, there wasn't no Dan Gilberts running around here. Wasn't no Mark Cubans.
Yeah, they were a whole different.
They wasn't paying money like that. Different game. Whole different game.
So the other thing that jumped out to me, Brad, is it seemed Mike almost if he came off as a bully. That he was a bully when it came to practice and the way he treated his teammates. I mean, how accurate is that of him being a bully, or was he just a tough competitor? You experienced it. So where do you feel?
Well, here he showed you shades of who he is, right? Everything you see there, that's who he is. Let me say this about him, right? I want to be clear. I'll tell everybody this. That's a good dude there, right? Irrespective of what you see, right? Irrespective of some of the things he's done, right? He is a good character, right? You can tell he comes from good parents, right? And his methodology sometimes can work against him. But his ultimate goal was to be a winner, right? In his mind, he's pushing you to a winner, right? To elevate your game, not be a winner, but to elevate your game, right? And I'm a guy that employs 200 people, right? You cannot treat everybody the same way. You have to figure out what's going to get the most out of that person, or how you can put them in an environment to do that, right? So you have to also take into context, because I've seen the tough side of him, right? I've seen the competitive side of him, and I've seen the genuine side. He and I have had some conversations when I was in Chicago that let me know he's a good dude, right? Right. Mm-hmm. And he can't let you know that. I mean, there's a public persona out here that he has to live into, right? Whether he wants to or not, right? Because this is what has been created. This is a part of Air Jordan, right? Air Jordan is, and along the way, what's funny is this, not many people, he didn't let many people see that of him, right? And that's why I commend him for this 10-piece series, right? You didn't have to show anybody that. That's a real person in there with real feelings, real circumstances that everyday people have to deal with, right? Right? And then he has to do it in a way that puts him in a position that it's not offensive to many, right? And sometimes the brunt of that was because when he's mocking people and making fun of them, he really is doing it because we used to ride the bus talking about people like that, right? On the bus rides, right? It's really in jest, but if you hear it from the side like you're hearing it, you're like, what's he can come off like a jerk. But he not being malicious with it at times. At times was he? At times, right? But some of it is in jest, right? It's like a person would who said, I'm being funny, and somebody said, that ain't funny.
Right.
That ain't funny. Right. And he's not trying to indict people. It's like when he said the thing about Scott Burrell, you're alcoholic. Right? Well, Scott Burrell got parents. Nobody want to hear that. But he was being funny. But it's not funny to everybody. But again, you have to understand, here's a guy, you know how much pressure is on him every day? I ain't talking about pressure on the floor. He got to be a certain guy every day, all the time, 24/7, can't leave his house, can't do this, can't go to the store, right? I used to tell my man, it's tough. It must be tough living like you. And people say, well, he made all the money. All money ain't good money. Because of me, I like getting up bouncing. I think I'm gonna go to Lowe's today. I'm on my way, right? He can't do that. It's a problem. Can you imagine living like that? Can you imagine how cynical that can make you?
That'd be tough.
Be tough. But people always say, but look at his bank account. True. And I report people, I respond to people like this. Here, it's all about your perspective. My thing is all money ain't good money.
Why do you think he did the documentary at this time? I mean, he could have done it 5, 10 years ago. Why now?
I think it was just at a point where you had to cleanse your soul sometimes. I'm gonna cleanse my soul today, right? That's where I think he is, right? You think about it, man. We all approaching 60. You looking at things when we were in the 20s. You seeing this thing? We're in the 20s here.
Wow.
We're in the 20s, and here, and I love LeBron James the way he played, right? Let me be clear. I love Kobe Bryant too. I love his competitor. They not this cat. I hope that came through. My own daughters and them called me because I got three in college. I mean, three that be college players. They were like, Dad, Brian he's good in his own. They just good in their own time. I said, no. Your statement is true, but it's inaccurate. You can tell from these clips, this kid is a killer. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Right? What's amazing to me is that we can lose perspective of things sometimes. Right? We are almost 30 plus years later, and we still feuding with Isaiah. Now here, I'm a Piston too. And let me be clear, when I got to, Detroit and Chicago, adversaries, major ones. When I got to the Detroit locker room, I didn't want to be, give me the lock at the end. Because I don't trust none of y'all up in here. Be clear on that. But I'm serious, B. I didn't. Let me tell you what I found about them Pistons. Again, playing into the public persona. What you saw from the bad boys, that's not them. Hear me, I mean all of them. From Isaiah to Lambeer, right? They are good people at their core, right? Have they done some silly things that probably wish they hadn't done? Absolutely, but you're playing into the public persona thing. That bad boys thing, that was the Detroit image. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Raiders, right? We are this group. But when you get to know them, that's not who they are. I told ESPN, I said, Jerry Brimger, I told him, I said, man, I know both them dudes. They're good people. I said, they had to do some things, would they probably do it over? Would they have a chance to do it over again? They probably would do it over again, right? Do it a different way. But I said, if they had been another place, another time, they would have enjoyed one another, being around one another, right? Because they both are competitors out this world. They are.
They're like the
and
same kind of
their
cat.
hearts, they're the same cat. It's the same person, B. Yes, it is.
What?
Yep. And I told you, I was like, here, we 30 years later, when Indiana was recruiting Cheyenne, Isaiah sent her a video. I can play it for you today. Like, quit playing around. Send her down to IU, Brad. Quit playing. You don't have to do that.
No.
I'm 30 years from being a Piston. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. It's awesome. Hey, let's end it with this. The shot. I want you to give me the play-by-play.
How far you want me to go? The last 3 seconds? What do you want?
I want the last.
This only for you. I'm only doing this for you.
Okay, appreciate it. You're in the huddle. Collins is drawing it up.
Well, we gotta take it back. Take it back to the layup that put them. We were up. Jordan hits a jumper, maybe with about 10 seconds, 9 seconds to go, 11 seconds. The Cavs are taking the ball out of bounds on the side. Elo's taking it out. I'm checking Nance. Jordan is checking Elo. And no, I don't know who Jordan was checking. Elo takes the ball out of bounds. I'm thinking they're going to Larry. I got Nance. I'm thinking they're going to one of Nance and Price for the winner, right?
Okay.
They draw up a play. Elo inbounds it to Nance, who I'm guarding about mid-post. Foul line extended mid-post. Well, Larry didn't make a move. What they had designed was Craig Elo was going to come in for an out-of-bounds pass, back door, because we probably would be asleep at the wheel, which we were. And Larry gives it back to Elo, and he drives in for the layup. You see Jordan trying to come over and block it, but it's too late. He lays this ball in with 3 seconds to go, and I tell you, if you had never been to the Coliseum, 21,000, this place erupted like I never heard before. Now, this is special to me because not only is it's a short series, 5-game series, but this is 15 minutes from where I'm living in Warrensville. My hometown is right down the road, right? We stayed at the Beachwood Marriott during that series, and my mother's house is 5 minutes up the street. So it's different. He makes his layup, and the first thing I think, like, as I'm walking to the sideline, right? My thoughts. Man, we done messed up now. This thing's going, I said, we done really messed up now. This thing gonna go south on us, right? We done worked this hard, and we're gonna lose. That's what I thought. I mean, we're gonna lose this game. Because it's 3 seconds on the clock, right? Now you need a miracle. When we walk to the sideline, we take the timeout. We have no more timeouts, Branson. None. We sit in the huddle, and I just kind of remember Doug going over some things, a lot of people talking, and he said, you know, I give Doug Collins credit because I was tall, I could pass, I could see. He always entrusted me with the inbounds, right? He said he always entrusted me. This even after one time it didn't work out well. We were playing Milwaukee maybe about a month before. And I'm entrusted for the last second shot. And I'm throwing it to Jordan, and Terry Cummings coming to steal the ball. I don't even see him, right? Boy, he exploded on me in the locker room afterwards. I was like, man, I ain't seen him. I didn't see him.
Floated on you, Doug.
So yeah. Not bad, but you know, in the heat of the moment, right? He and I go at it one another, but I was like, because I wasn't like I was trying to throw the ball away. It just happened. But in the heat of the moment. But when we came back to this thing, right? We goes back to, Brad, you got it out. We know no timeouts. We know walking to the sideline that Cleveland has a timeout. They probably going to burn this thing to see how we line up. And they did. Burned it. So we go back to the huddle for a timeout. Another 30 seconds. This is when the thing is really amped up. Locker room, everybody talking, right? And so we just go back to the same play, which is basically this. Everybody in the building knows what's happening. Get the ball to Michael. Right? And so the other players on the floor, man, I'll get to the sideline, head to the sideline to take it in. We have no timeout, so you get 5 seconds to count. Get this ball in bounds. Everybody in the building knows where the ball's going. Well, I'm expecting Larry Nance to be on me. That's who was checking me, right? Larry 6'10", long arms. I'm figuring he'll try to make it difficult for me to get the ball in bounds, right? Well, Lenny Wilkins decides that he's not going to do that. They're going to double Michael with Larry and Elo. As we're walking out to the huddle, I emphatically remember Michael telling me, B, just stay with me. I'm going to get free. Right? I'm going to get free. And I said, and my response to him was like, you better get free. Right? Because in my mind, let me tell you it was also in my mind. If I don't get this ball into this boy here, it's going to be a problem for me back in Chicago. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
All politics are local, right? They're very local, right? I'm like, because I got to go back. And so I'm counting down this thing, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. I get to 1,004. And I was reminded of that by Bert Graff. He emailed me from Arizona. He's like, look, you were at a 4 count. I was at a 4 count. Yes, I remember it. And the last second, Jordan gets free because he shoves Larry Nance, right? So Elo slips. He shoves Larry, gets free. Michael takes those 2 dribbles, get to the foul line high, hangs for a second, because it seemed like eternity. When I tell you the place was in a frenzy, B, he hits this shot. It seemed like it took forever for that shot to go in. Well, I'm going to tell you, the place went dead silent. Silent, except for section 131, where my family and Jordan's family and a few other people were here that came to see Paxton's family come up from Dayton, except for that section. and some of my family probably was like, they torn between the Cavaliers and the Cleveland people, right? And so He hits that shot. I couldn't sprint fast enough over to him. That's the clip that they always see.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get over there fast enough to him that this thing actually went down. And I was like, it's the greatest assist I've had in my career, right? Because, man, do you know how much pressure trying to get the ball to a place where everybody knew was the ball going to be free? I mean, where the ball was going? I'm like, boy, because everything could have went wrong with that, right? And the Cleveland, to the fact, if he doesn't make the shot, do the Bulls ascend to the level they are? Because that's where the folklore really became public. Because remember, it wasn't no ESPN out here.
No.
They wasn't broadcasting games like that. You had to wait till Sunday.
That's right.
To see games. That's right. That's where the folklore became real. Because they were like, look at this dude. We came back and beat the Cavaliers who had beat us 6 times in the regular season, 6-0. And they wasn't close.
Brad, some great memories, man. Some really great memories.
I told you, truth be told.
Yes. No. Hey, thanks for coming on this Zoom. Hey, what about 10, 20 seconds left? What do you expect to see on Sunday with the last two of the last?
I think they should. Well, here. Hopefully show him some his family life, a little more of his family life, the things he's done, right? The things he's doing now, because he does a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't even pay attention to. I mean, they don't know because he doesn't seek notoriety. I mean, he's done a lot of charitable stuff here to help people back in Carolina. And let me just tell you this. You know when you run across good people, right?
Right.
Irrespective of their issues, at their core, the boy a good person. Yes, he is. Parents raised him right. Sure did. He did everything perfect? Absolutely not. But who does? The only one that is Jesus Christ. You know he is. All right? So I like, but you can grow and learn, right? I think just like Kobe Bryant learned over time, and he was about to explode to something else. So for all them young people watching, you want to know talent? Jordan got talent, a lot of it, right? And his one statement I always remember, he said, I pushed people that didn't want to be pushed. What else was level? He pushed people that didn't want to be pushed, and it was all for him about the ultimate goal, winning. Winning. I took people where they didn't want to be taken. They did. And that's truth be told.
Brother. Thanks, bro.
B, anytime, bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm about to get out here on this grill, bro.
Okay. Yeah, before it get too dark. Wait, but that doesn't matter.
I got lights over here where I am, bro. Yes. Warren, we got lights on stuff, all right? Don't worry about it.